So this is something I want you to do more often, right? Peyton notices his guy is a little bit out of position, right? Which type of advantage did he use out of the four?
Speed or momentum.
Speed and momentum, correct. So he notices momentum was going towards him, right? And he was a little bit out of position, and Peyton had the speed advantage. So he just took him to the lane, got an easy layup, right? This is the type of thing I could see you doing a lot more often, right? Because especially with the guys you're playing against, they're younger, so they're not as experienced. And I see this opportunity a lot. That's why I keep telling you to run through all your sets, don't walk, attack. Be in attack mode always, because we saw your highlight reels. When you're in attack mode, you play really well. Got it?
Mhm.
Good. This is something for you as well. So sometimes you set up the offense and you play a bit passive sometimes because you're not seeing the gaps, right? And you're making smart passes, which is good, but I just think you could push the initiative a bit more. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Okay. So you see Peyton Pritchard right here. He just knows, all right, I'm going to put pressure on the defense. Even if that help defender comes in a little bit, I'm going to be able to kick out to the corner, right? He's thinking through all of that. And that's why he's been so successful. Take a look at this right here, though. Look at where he picks up the basketball and his patience once again. I want you to recognize that patience, right? Just because his defender cuts him off, that doesn't mean he immediately tries to get rid of the basketball, right? He picks that ball up, takes his time, that 1-2 step, takes the contact, and he goes up strong. Picking up what I'm putting down so far?
Mhm.
Yeah. What did you notice here?
The hesitation he did.
Say again?
The hesitation that he did.
Yes. I'm glad you noticed it. Yeah, man, I like this right here. I could see you doing this a lot. But the only way that sort of hesitation is going to work is if you're a threat in the mid range, right? I think you can shoot that mid range shot. I think you have that. But you just got to be on the lookout for it a bit more. And take a look at this, right? Remember we talked about the numbers advantage last week?
Mhm. Yes.
So take a look at what the center has to do, right? You see my mouse hovering over him. Number
Mhm.
10 is driving to the lane, right? He's cutting off of that pick and roll. So this center right here has to make a decision between stopping ball and getting the big man. And he ends up kind of doing a little bit of both, but that accomplishes neither, right? So Peyton Pritchard was able to get all the way. And with that hesitation, he's playing chess out there. He's playing chess. He's being strategic because the longer he waits, the more pressure is put on that big man. That big man was really the anchor for the defense, and he broke it down by being patient. Does that make sense?
Ναι. Yes.
Are you
Ποιος
sure?
είναι ο Πι-
Ναι, υπομονητικός.
Μμμ.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yes.
Okay. All right. What do you notice already? I'll
That
play.
he
What's one thing he did to his defender?
oh, he put it on the back hostage.
Yes. Yes, he got him on his back, right? He sealed him. And he also did that what? What kind of move did he do right here?
Cross. I didn't see. I think crossover.
I'll show it again. It's all right.
Inside Out. Wow.
Mm-hmm. Now look at the advantage he created. Look where the first line of defense is right here, right? Then the center, he just blew by him. Now we have the help, right? So he's able to slice through the lane. That's just a tough layup. I've seen you utilize the hop step as well. I've seen you do that. I think you could take advantage of that in these kinds of situations as well. Um, but what I really just want to continue harping on is sealing that defender and being patient and not just passing it away as soon as you feel some defensive pressure. I want you to trust yourself. Remember, remember I kept yelling at you for it last week to trust yourself.
Yeah.
Who are you gonna trust?
Myself.
Who?
Me. Myself. Myself.
Good. Awesome. All right. Get to the next play. So this is one where this is a very, very patient play. I personally think he could have passed up to the guy at the top of the key, right? And I feel like this is the type of pass that you make a lot as well, because you have really good court vision with that. I think that is the correct pass. Of course, he was still able to make something out of it, but this patience is something that you know it's going to take years to really master this level. But I want you to pay attention to how he's getting downhill. Notice he's not going out too wide, right? He's not letting the defense force him this way. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
He's going in that straight line to the basket. Look at this. He's right here. Boom. And he has that bump. He's creating that contact, right? You're a strong kid. You can create that contact as well. I've seen you do it. And that allows him to stay on his line and get to the basket. You get that?
Yes.
All right. Now, the next thing I want to show you is from a player all the way out in Greece. You might know him. His name is Cone. All right, here we go. Let me pull it up. Let me know if you can see.
Yes, I can see.
Awesome. Yeah, you might know him. He's pretty popular out there. All right. So, first play, I think we've gone over this many times, but I just want to show you again because I think it's good to remind you of your good moments. You're in attack mode here, man. You're getting down the floor. You're not thinking twice about it. And I want to see you do more of that where you're just going with confidence. Nice. See why I showed you those Peyton Pritchard clips? Remind me of him a lot. I like the footwork. I like the aggressiveness. Did I disconnect for a second? You
Uh,
guys?
it's it has stopped.
Yeah, I disconnected for a second. All right, you guys can hear me now, though?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So let me just say what I said before in case it cut out. That's why I showed you those Peyton Pritchard clips because you
Mhm.
remind me of him. And when you're in that attack mode, you don't let anything stop you. You just get to the rack and you score. Beautiful Euro step, right? You stayed on your line. You didn't go out too wide. You didn't, you know, think, oh, should I, pass once the defender's there? No, you just went to the rim and you're able to get a nice layup here. Good move. All right, let me see if I can find some of the shooting clips here. Mm, great move. You love that fake pass. I love to see it. Nice. Is there a shooting section in this, or is it
Will at the end of offense, but I don't remember what mean. Not no, not at the end
not at the?
because it. Uh, uh, I don't know the minute, but it's. Mm, This will win.
Η επίθεση,
Oh, το shoot.
το shoot, είναι τα τρίποτα είναι στο τέλος.
Στο τέλος επίθεση.
Α,
Move it a bit.
A little bit. All right. Well, real quick, I want to show you anyway. So,
backwards, I think.
okay, this is the pump fake drive. Okay, so this clip that's coming up right here. This is one of those examples I wanted to show you. You did get all the way to the rim here, so it worked in your favor. But I just want you to recognize this because you made the right decision here. I'm not saying you made the wrong decision. You got an open layup, so of course I'm happy for you. It's just I want you to recognize, right? First off, when you caught this basketball, what defender is near you?
The center.
Are you sure? I don't see anybody here.
Ah,
Right? Who do you trust, man?
myself.
Who?
Myself.
So who do you trust to shoot this basketball?
Myself.
Good. So shoot it next time. So you catch right here, you're wide open. I would like you to shoot that shot. You're wide open. Now you did the pump fake. You took advantage of the momentum, right? So I'm happy for you for that, right? The momentum advantage was there, and you had the speed advantage because it was a bigger guy. Take a look at this too, right? You have a ton of space in the mid-range area for a floater or maybe taking a sidestep for the mid-range because you have three guys around the rim. It could have made it a difficult finish, but of course nobody really guarded you, so you had a wide open layup. But just something to think about in the future. When you have all this free real estate right here, all this room, you can easily get that nice floater, or a mid-range, right? Because especially when you get to the more competitive levels, the higher levels of play, they're going to take that layup away. That won't always be there. So you have to be able to adapt to that and score in different types of ways. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So great play, great and one, tough take. But I'm going to nitpick because that's what I do. So when you caught this basketball, you have the ball straight above your head, right? There's not really much you can do with the basketball straight above your head, you know? I would have liked if you were in the triple threat, because that way you would just be in a better position, right? And if that defender pressured you very heavily, then you would be forced to go on your back foot. You would be off balance, right? I want you to rip that ball side to side. I want you to be ready, have it in your shooting pocket, right? Because I want you to always be a threat. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Let me do this real fast. There we go. Okay. Oh, there we go.
I think here's the shooting.
Awesome. Beautiful. I love this. Boom! Trust your shot, Cone. Trust it. Trust your shot. Now look, right? Remember last time. 4 types of advantages. Numbers, speed, height, strength, momentum, right? Make sure to keep the ball close to your body when you're shooting your shot, right? Keep it tight. Keep it right here. Don't push your shot, right? We know that. But man, I'm going to keep iterating this to you, bro. Trust yourself. Trust yourself, dude. You have the skill, you have the talent, you have the ability. Get out of your head, have a scorer's mindset first, and attack every single time. All right? So, I want you to always be in attack mode, man. That doesn't mean you shoot every time. That just means you put pressure on the defense. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Great take. Great and one. All right, now we're into the shooting. I love how you went from the corner up to the wing to create a easier pass, more separation from the defense. That was perfect, right? You slid up a little bit. That was fantastic. I think we talked about that last week too. When somebody's driving and you're on the wing and you kind of slide down or slide up. Yeah, so that's good, man. And good shot. And you know what I noticed about that shot was the shot clock was running down. So I imagine that was the only thought you had in your head was because there was no time left. So that forced you to shoot. See what happens when you're not in your head so much? Good things happen, bro. I'm just saying. Oh, I love that. Ooh. Earlier we were talking and I asked you, was there a defender near you? And you said, yeah, this guy that's like 20 feet away. But right here, you had a kid right in front of you and you still shot that ball. Right? His hands weren't up. So you said down and you took that shot. Dude, I love it. I want to see more of that. Good stuff, dude. Well done. There you go. Once again, you're open, so you're just taking that shot. No second guessing, no hesitation. Great. See, here you have even less space than that other one, and you're letting that shot fly because you're trusting yourself. You're letting that shot go. Nice. Boom. There you go. Okay. I'm going to show you now the next bit of film here. So, you're quite a great passer, and I want to show you a little bit of Steve Nash. You know Steve Nash?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to show you some of his transition passing because your team runs the fast break a lot, and I think this may be helpful for you. Okay. Awesome. Let me know if you can see it.
I can see.
Cool. So you might not be throwing lobs to your teammates right now, but this is something that you've done a lot. Like I can pull up side by side, you throwing that ball ahead in transition, right? Take a look at Steve Nash here, right? You do this really well. As soon as Steve Nash gets his rebound, what's his first instinct? He's not jogging. What's he doing?
He's sprinting.
Yes, he's sprinting. And look at this. His head is up, right? And since his head is up, he's able to see that guy. That's an easy layup. Once again, we're pushing the initiative, right? We're not jogging. We're not walking. We're putting pressure on the defense every single time. Because if you take a look, right, these two guys aren't even back, right? These guys are out of position. This guy has his back turned. We're taking advantage of the numbers here, right? Look at that. Defense out of position, right? But this would not have happened if he walked the ball up the court. So that's why I keep stressing that a lot to sprint. Got that?
Mhm.
Now that's just great. Look at this. Sometimes I've noticed this with you. When your center gets the rebound, you kind of stand there and you wait for the pass. But look at what Steve Nash does here. You see, he started on this side of the court, but he runs to the basketball, right? But he's not running towards like the baseline area. He's not running at the center. he's running in the direction of him so he can get that pass and turn up court. Do you notice the difference there? Do you want me to re-explain it?
No, I got it.
You got it? Cool. Once again, keeps his head up. Great passing. Great. All right, here. I want you to recognize this. Steve Nash is like a boxer fighting on the inside, right? He's in the danger zone, if you will, but he's comfortable there. He lives there. So he has all of these defenders around him, right? But instead of just turning his back and going out to like the 3-point line saying, all right, let's reset, he's staying in that pocket. He's staying comfortable. And that allows the trailer, the center right here, to get a nice pass for the layup. I said it with Peyton Pritchard. I'm saying it with Steve Nash. I keep saying have some patience, right? Trust yourself and keep attacking. Got it?
Yes.
So here, this is an opportunity where I think Steve Nash could have even taken a pull-up jumper. Of course, he found an even better read. But don't be afraid to take that pull-up jumper if the defense is going to sag off like that, you know? Now, that's just smart basketball. This is just a pass. And Steve Nash isn't really like a screener per se, but he's acting as a screener because he's just standing in front of the defender here, right? This is something that is very common, or you have the opportunity for it a lot, especially since you're young. You have a lot of, on-ball screens, right? You call for that pick and roll, but that, pass and then screen is there a lot. I remember doing that in high school a good amount. So make sure to be on the lookout for that. Ooh, this is a great teaching moment. What's one thing that you've noticed Steve Nash does basically every single time he runs the break? Where does he
Yes.
go for it?
To the wing.
Well, where does he start though?
At the center.
In the center, right? He takes the middle of the floor, right? We talked about this last week, if you remember, not to just get stuck on the sidelines, right? Do you remember that?
Yes.
Yeah. So take a look at what Steve Nash does, right? He's taking the middle of the floor, so he has all of this spacing, right? So because of that, the defense has to really spread out because it's not just Steve Nash in the middle. It's his teammate over on this side, and it's his teammate over on that side. But if they're all clumped up on the same side, the defense has an easier time defending it. Make sense?
Yes.
Once again, keeping his head up. Yet again, I've seen you do that pass before too. So you see what I'm saying? How he's taking the middle of the floor? Is it more obvious now?
Yes.
Yeah, every single time. He's not going to the scorer's table. He's staying in the middle. Look at this, right? Now look at where all the defenders' eyes are. Eyes on Steve Nash. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You seeing that too?
Mm.
It's because he's putting pressure on the defense. Look at that backdoor cut. That's a thing of beauty. But like I said before, his eyes are on Steve Nash. He's ball watching. That's how he can create those opportunities for his teammates. So there, he didn't go towards the middle, right? But he had his head up, and he saw these guys were off to the races. So he makes a beautiful pass. See this? Look at that. Look at that. This is what I'm talking about. Steve Nash was waiting for his big man to get him the ball, but he's not just standing there waiting. He's on the move as the rebounder gets that rebound. Do you notice that?
Yes.
He's standing there right now, and he's like, oh, okay, we got the rebound. Let me just sit. Wait. All right, now I'm going to start running because he's running. And he's able to catch this pass in stride. Got that?
Yes.
And then nice little give and go. See that? He's being the outlet man, right? This time he noticed, oh, okay, we can have a numbers advantage. Look at this. 2 defenders are back here, right? So if Steve Nash stayed back there, it would be 2 defenders and 2 offensive players in the backcourt. But now they have that advantage because he got out in the fast break early, right? Make sense?
Yes.
And look at that. Look where he went, right? He caught it on the sideline. Where did he go?
To the mid.
He went to the middle, right? All right. So that's all the film I have for you today. But Colin, what did you take from this call? What are your mental notes? I'll be sending you the notes on to your mom as well. So
First of all, to trust myself, to be patient with the ball and not pass it very fast. Just be patient. Run to the middle.
yes, yeah,
What?
that's pretty much everything that we went over. I just want you to understand that these things that you can implement into your game are right in front of you. When I say trust yourself, I really mean it, and especially coming off the pick and roll and everything, I want you to, I say trust yourself, and that's just the easy explanation, but like, be patient, right? Attack, and just because the defender cut you off, that doesn't mean that's the end of your drive. You know, don't be afraid to shoot that mid-range shot, and don't be afraid to shoot that three-pointer, especially if you're open. Especially. So just keep that stuff in mind, man. All of it comes down to a trust in yourself, not overthinking everything. Just playing ball out there, man. All right. You have any questions?
No.
Okay. So when's your next game coming up?